lots more before the evening is over with. Um, this building that you are, before I tell you this, I had a little impediment in my speech. I don't know what else have you. Every now and then the elevators go all the way up. So just forgive me, okay? Okay. This building right here, we call that the Gothic Chapel now. When they first built this in 1875, we called it the Gothic Vault. The Gothic Vault. The reason why we called it the Gothic Vault was we used to put 39 bodies in that wing of the chapel and 39 bodies on this wing. We had trays there, and we buried people. They'd sit there, and people would sit there and sit there and sit there, and they would get a little ripe. You know what I'm talking about? Really ripe. Now, there are three reasons why we had built this to some degree. In 1875, we built this. Indiana has permafrost 2 feet thick, which means the ground freezes, and nobody could shovel or pick a grave here in Indiana at that particular time. In 1959, they had thing of backhoe and stuff like that. There's no problem now. But we did something better. We had a thing called the hood, and so we invented that, and we put the thing there on the ground and had the gas that go in the burners, and all night long the gas would come, and then when the guys come at 8 o'clock, it's just like summertime. So they could dig, what else have you. So, like I said, that's one reason we had this. So, but anyway, another reason why we had this was that, believe it or not, people didn't pay their bill. And therefore, we didn't bury you until you paid your bill. So we ain't getting no money from you if we bury you down there. Take my word for it. Nobody won't pay. Every now and then we had some kind of friends society used to come over here and talk to the superintendent, and they say, you got any bodies left there, what else have you? And he would say yes or yes, something like that. And they would give him a stipend for us to bury them here. But we didn't bury anybody until they paid their money. Also, way back in 1875, people would come from Kentucky, Ohio, what else have you, and the method would have horses, and never took a long time to get here, so we had to wait till people get up here, and therefore we wait, and then we bury people here. All right. This is called the Gothic Chapel now. In 1970, we removed all those trays I told you about for the people to be stacked up there. We put new cartons up there and ladies' rooms and stuff like that there. And we have weddings in there, and just as pretty as it can be. And people love it now. So that's called the Gothic Chapel now. We spent $39,000 in 1875 to build this from limestone, thank you. And about 2 years ago, we spent almost $3 million, that you see here, $3 million. Wow. To add this up, add that, whatever have you. Indiana, it has approximately 20 miles of limestone, wide, 20 miles wide, and 80 feet long, going from Kentucky to Indianapolis. And we get our limestone mainly from Oolitic, Indiana, Bedford, stuff like that. So Bedford and Oolitic had a big argument one time, and so now Bedford say, no, our stone is the best, so we called it Bedford stone. It's the same thing. Believe it or not, over $400 million, 400 million years ago, here in Indiana was nothing but sea. And that's nothing but seashells. All what you see there is nothing but seashells. Indiana has approximately limestone about 20 feet thick. The best part, for some reason or other, is in the center. But anyway, the cutters, we call them cutters, they would carve all this, and it's use a template and all that. And they kept those templates every time for everything they had, and they can use them over. Anybody got any questions before we start? Okay. Like I said, you have a whole lot of history here. Indiana was for a long time, once again, Native Americans were the first one to come here in Indiana. The next people came here were the Spaniards. They came to Indiana. We call it Indian land then. And then from the Indian, and then the French came. The Spaniards, then the French, then the English came, and then guess who came next? Virginia. This was all owned by the state of Virginia. Clark and some of the people came up here, Vincennes, and wanted to beat the British and what else have you, and they came at property for the Virginia. So Virginia said, no, we don't need it, so they gave it to this new government in the ordinance of 1787. They laid out a plan to have 5 states incorporated what we call the Northwest Territory. The Northwest Territory. 5 states. And they said, if you have 60,000 white men in the state, you can make yourself a state. In 1816, December 12th, Indiana became the 19th state, the Hoosier state. And therefore we started this. Ohio was first, then Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, and the north there, Minnesota. So that's how we started that. We start our tour now by going over here. If you have any questions, just move out. Okay, I'm an old soldier, and I used to tell the recruits, form a skirmish line. And they would form a line right here, and they would look right in my pretty blue eyes. Yeah, they would. And whatever I was going to talk about was always behind the first sergeant. So this is a skirmish line. So when I say form a skirmish line, just like you're doing now, and we talk about something that's behind me. There are 3 vice presidents of the United States buried here, 3 of them. Charles Warren Fairbanks was Teddy Roosevelt's vice president. We have 1 president of the United States buried here, and you remember his name, don't you? The first president we have? Help her out.
Was it Benjamin Harrison?
What, Benjamin Harrison? Yeah, you're right, Benjamin Harrison.
I said William
That's all right. That was his grandpa. Okay, this is Charles Warren Fairbanks. He was Teddy Roosevelt's vice president. Something interesting about Charles Warren Fairbanks was that while he was vice president, they had a big dispute with Alaska and Canada. And so he went over there and settled this dispute. As a result, the people from Alaska named the city after him. And the city name is Fairbanks. Very good. Oh, we're going to have some fun. Yeah, Fairbanks, Alaska. Something interesting, another thing about Charles Warren Fairbanks was that when Teddy Roosevelt kicked off his second term for presidency, he came to this Hoosier state and Charles Warren Fairbanks' house. If you're familiar with the city, there's 30th and Meridian Street where the Children's Museum is. To the south of it, there's a mansion there. It's still there. You can go see it. But it was his house, Charles Warren Fairbanks. And so he kicked off his tour here at his house. Neither he nor Teddy Roosevelt drunk. They were teetotalers, we call them. That's, you guys don't know nothing about that. But anyway, they didn't drink. So anyway, the young lady next to him, she went on to Columbia Club, and that's for the Republicans. Anyway, don't worry, Democrats. The athletic club used to be there. But anyway, they went over. She went over there, and athletic club.
Columbia Club.
Columbia, thank you, and got some libations. And so, Sherry.
Hi.
Oh, okay. Oh my goodness.
Joe.
Okay, man. Okay. Where am I at now?
One of the 200 people that you know.
Okay.
Columbia
Right.
Club.
So she got some libations, and Teddy Roosevelt had a habit of saying bully, 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 and he would clap his hands. This is part of his signature.